Point 6, develop controller. So this is our most important part, controller. We only have one controller, okay? And this one, we can borrow from Duke Spring directly, but we need to add a very important method. In that Duke Spring, we only have one method, onSubmit. When the user clicks the submit button, then the onSubmit method is called. But this one, this example, we have a new feature added to it because we need to list questions on the form page. All right, so that means when the form page is rendered, we need to display our data. So that part is not there in the Duke Spring example. We do not need to display data retrieved from database, right? We display some static content, but we do not display dynamic content. But in this one, we need to display dynamic content. So we need to do that. We need to add that new method in our controller. So let me explain how to do that. All right. So our controller, we extend the simple form controller. Yeah. So we know it's the old way. Yeah. Later we will change to the new way. Yeah. Here, our first iteration, old way. Yeah. Then in this method, we need to prepare our data before the form view page rendered. So how do we do that? Look at this. This is the special method. It's called reference data method. Reference data method. Yeah, so this one associated with the simple form controller, but we need to override it. We need to provide our new content to this method. Yeah. So what does this method do? Very simple. Because you want to get some data somewhere, from database, from other places. You want to prepare your data to be displayed, dynamic data to be displayed on the form view page. How do you tell the container to, do that data preparation before the form view page is rendered? So here we are talking about data preparation for our form view. Okay, yeah, that step. Okay, yeah. The setup is arranged for the simple form controller. The setup is there. So what do you need to do? Just provide your data using the appropriate format. If you make your data in appropriate format, then the container knows how to use that data. Okay, yeah, here in this example, you can see that. Yeah. What is the appropriate format? Map object. So your reference data should be in this map object. Okay, yeah, string, list of question, yeah, in this way. Okay, yeah. So that's your reference data. Hash map, string, yeah. So then you use DAO object, database query, retrieve data. So we call list questions. So we get list of question, Java beans. Yeah. Then, because it is a map object, so we store it into this map object using key list is the key, then the value that quest list, the value part. After that, you just return that reference data. Okay? So when you do this kind of preparation, the container knows how to use it when the form view page is rendered. Okay? Yep. When the form view page is rendered, because you have the data under this attribute name. Yeah. Prob list, that's the attribute name. Okay? Yeah. So you use that, you can retrieve the data, that is a list of Java beans. Then you use a for each loop to display row by row. Yeah. So that's simple. Okay, all right. So that's our first special method. Yeah. This method is called before the form view rendering. Every time when you need to render the form view, this data preparation method is called automatically. So that's the nice thing. Yeah, because you do not call it by yourself. It is called automatically. Yeah. All right. So next, then our main method. Okay. Yeah. So we already have that, but we need to add a new method. Yeah. That's not new. On submit. Yeah, our main method. Main method. All right. So on submit. When the submit button is clicked, then we do the data binding. So remember the data binding, command object data binding. So we get a question content. Then we call the DAO object, write data into the database. Okay, through that delegation. Yeah. Question DAO object delegation. Yeah. Yeah. So we also set content to empty content. Yeah. Remember that our Duke Spring example, right? So because of the data binding, we don't want to keep the old data there. So that's why we set to empty. So then return to the original form, we use the show form method. Yeah. So that's simple. Yeah. So the modification of this method pretty close to the one we used in Duke Spring. But we just do one extra thing. Use DAO object to write data into the database. So that's the added part. Yeah. All right. So after these two methods, then the controller is done. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But here we know it's the old way. Spring old way. Yeah. So we mainly, for our background understanding, so we start from this one. Yeah. But we need to prepare for the new way. For the new way, both these two special methods won't be used. Both special methods won't be used. Yeah. So we need to do the same thing. Yeah. So for the new way, we do the same things, these two things, the same as before, without these special methods. Yeah. Then you may wonder, how do we do it? Yeah. So the way we do it, use some new rules. Yeah. Hidden rules. So you cannot see anywhere. Yeah, there are some rules we need to learn. Yeah, after we learn those rules, so then we prepare our data. So then process the data collected from the form. We do the same thing. Yeah, but we eliminate those special methods, special Spring classes. The reason is very simple. We want to make our controller more reusable. Okay? Yeah, so that's the main reason. Reusable. Yeah. All right, so that's this video B.6. Yeah.